Well, hi everybody, and welcome to Dice Up the Classroom. I'm Ryan Reed. So I had my 5 for 5 challenge this week. So I took a part little out of Michael Matera to do a challenging for a new set of goals for the whole week. So what I decided to do here is for my final day 5 of the challenge that I would actually do a live miniature vlog here. I apologize for the pixelization. I have a lot of lighting issues here, but I've made it up. So I'm really going to talk about my 5 for 5, how it all started and how I wrapped it all up for day 5 to wrap this up. So my challenge was I was really trying to push the last 2 pieces of Pixel Classroom. As you know, for me, my Pixel Classroom is what I'm working on right now. So passion, innovation, X factor, enthusiasm, and listening. One of the big pieces I really wanted to work on that was, of course, enthusiasm, having my students really enthusiastic when they come to my classroom. I mean, many people talk about my classes and who I am as a teacher, and they're very enthusiastic, but there's also sometimes with just like any other teachers, it's just those lessons that drone on, work on, and some people kind of say, why are we learning this? And it just goes from there. But my other piece was to also listen to what students wanted. So I actually brought myself into all that for my 5 for 5 to actually challenge myself to bring more enthusiasm and listening, both students, me, voice to my classroom. And I decided to book the end that with all my pieces. So I decided on Monday that I was going to do a room transformation. So I took some pages out of Wild Card, as well as taking up the headbands idea for our review. So we didn't just have like review on Quizlet or Kahoot, something a little bit different. And then some gamification here would explore like a pirate. So I did a Monopoly transformation. We did a whole one working on our flow of money, our systems, and everything for Monopoly. So we had a whole Monopoly day in the classroom for my consumer ed. It went absolutely amazing. And then, of course, it just was. Students were seeing the medium exchange, the barter system, budgeting, everything. It was just an amazing learning. I had the whole room transform orange. We had a music list playing. It really just set the mode. And it was kind of really fun to see the competition, the way things were getting on right now for pieces like that for the crowd. So it was really good. And then I moved on to my intro to computers to bring the headbands idea where I didn't want them just knowing vocabulary words and just regurgitating. No, I actually wanted them to apply what they learned, what we did. We just finished Unit 1 on Google, everything from Google Docs to Google Drawings to Sheets, Drive slides. Yes, Matt, and I'll be talking about that a little later. And the problem is a lot of kids just didn't want to do it. They were really worried about it. They didn't want to make themselves look silly. They felt they were too old for headbands and a few other things. So what happened was it kind of was a turnout. But I had a couple of my teachers, especially one of my Spanish teachers, see the headbands idea. And she said, I could so use that. So what happened was I would brought it up to just show them how to do the headband. So it was successful that my day 1, I had my bumps in the road. So for day 2, these are my marketing and my multimedia and, of course, my business basics class. So I ended up taking things from the Pepper Effect and, of course, Teach Like a Pirate, old Dave Burgess. And what I ended up doing was bringing several of the pirate hooks to each of the classrooms. So for marketing, I wanted to get a lot of the craft hook, a little bit of the mind hook, and a little bit of the news feed hook with them. And then I had them work with little pieces from the Pepper Effect into the craft hook to create their own Beatles album. We did a whole thing with Photoshop of them creating music albums of their taste that inspires them. And then pieces, of course, with the Beatles as inspiration for the music. And it was really, really amazing. And then for business basics, we did a little pieces with Pear Deck, but I did a little bit more gamification with some of the scenarios. We did some we actually did taboo and swimming with the sharks. We actually dealt a little bit more with ethics. What is ethical? What is not ethical? And we actually put in pieces from All the Queen's Horse, which is about Rita Crunwell and all the money she sold from Dixon as examples for pieces in ethics. And we brought that in to be a real kind of live, real story into this. And we were watching the movie. We're finishing up on Monday. But it really brought a lot of that in, which was great. The kids just made such connections, and it was just amazing. So Tuesday had a great feel to it, just kind of flowed from beginning to end. Everybody loved it, and it just was great. And then on Wednesday, well, I wanted to ditch the homework, and I wanted to make sure kids had a voice of their active learning. So we completely flipped the classroom in consumer ed, intro to computers. We did Ed Puzzle. We did quiz. We just basically made it to where I barely talked. We did all of our stuff online and pretty much gave the rest of the time for work time to catch up on our assignments as we reviewed for our quiz on Friday. And it was fantastic. I had almost no students missing up any assignments. Things were turned in. We got grading done right away. And then I actually had the students, I wanted to hear their voice. What did they think of the classroom? And many of them, as much as they love Edpuzzle, were saying, well, I like it if the questions were a little better timing. I think the videos could have been shortened here. We didn't really do this because you told us this, Mr. Reed. So I was really listening to what the kids were trying to talk about, what they would want the classroom to be better. And I took that from everyone, especially my seminar. I have neglected them. If those are wondering, seminar is basically a homeroom. So it's pretty simple. The kids come in the morning. I have freshmen this year. They do it as a study hall, ask permission, go to meetings, so forth, so forth. I had so many just saying, why can't we get the XP points like your other classrooms? Why can't we do a flip grid ourselves in the classroom? And I just said, you know what, guys, you are absolutely right. And starting tomorrow, we're going to change that. So I really listened to them, which really kind of brought up to really pieces on Thursday where I used Be Real by Tara Martin and Sparks in the Dark here by Todd Nessione and Travis, who co-wrote, Kids Deserve It here with, Adam Welcome. And I've really been trying to bring a little bit more stories and inspiration into the classroom. So what happens is with Be Real, as we know, I did some real scenarios. I talked some more stuff. And we actually did what's called music snaps for my multimedia kids. We were working on the music. I wanted them to actually find inspirational music and put in basically snaps from the music that put in some spark jars, which, of course, is those who don't know, my 5 for 5 challenge has all been about Make Learning Magical by Tisha Richmond and all the pieces of her acronyms to put in those pieces into my 5 for 5. So I've been putting it. So I did Sparks in the Dark. I took pieces from stories, Xerox them, and cut them. We put it in mason jars. I had my marketing students take pieces out of those jars and incorporate into their news articles they're making right now. And then, of course, we did Sparks and we did Spark jars where they put inspiration for freshmen. So freshmen will have inspiring music and areas for them as they see all the inspiring in my room. But it's really amazing when upperclassmen can do those for the lower classmen. And when they're having a day, they can go into those jars, open up, and find something positive about a music line. It worked so well. I had so many freshmen so happy on Friday reading these jars, which actually leads to all this. So what was my Friday? I really wanted to take control and do the classroom really different. So my big thing was I made a flip grid Friday. Yes, flip grid all the way, guys. I'm a big flip grid guy. I mean, I even have my own flip grid bow tie I wear in classrooms for this. I love flip grid, has since it came out. So I made flip grid Friday, which is just going to be a thing from now on. Everybody gets to put in what they want to talk about. If they're having a problem with the class, if there was things they liked about the class. And we did a really what's been working, what have you been enjoying for the school year for the last 5 weeks. I opened this up to everyone from seminar all the way to my intro to computers classes. And I had such great feedback from everyone. They responded. They were so respectable. There was a nice student voice. And I took my notes to just see what I'm going to do. So what I want to change in my curriculum going forward, as well as in the future. So Flip Grid Fridays are officially a thing in my classrooms. Every Friday I'm doing Flip Grid Friday. And then one of my last things I really wanted to do was I really wanted to create that environment to where we could actually ditch some more of the quizzes. So I got everything set up for Pear Deck to be much more concise. We're going to use Pear Deck and get the premium account. It's fantastic. And we're really incorporating that into almost all classrooms. It's going to kill a lot of quizzes I don't need to really get because it really will reinforce and it will portfolio my students really well. And speaking of portfolio, we had a great time having students create their own portfolios the last couple of days. They were able to redirect, and it was just great. So I really made today to try to make learning magical. I try to incorporate everything, bring it to all my students. We did XP power-ups for Unlock Magic coming up, another page from Wildcard. So I really felt I saw a lot more enthusiasm listening. I saw that reflection, especially at the end of the day on Friday, that it definitely the enthusiasm of students to really want to break in and come into my classroom more instead of like, I can't wait for the bell to ring and get away from room 106. But they just They really loved it, and it worked really good. And I was really happy with this challenge was. And I wanted to wrap it up instead of a blog, do a vlog, do a live YouTube. I rarely ever do these because, I can't edit it. I can't think. You can see a little bit of my workspace, Funko Pops, BB-8 Lego, the Stray, Perler beads, little Kylo Ren, and a couple other things in my back. But I really wanted to do this another challenge to push me out. And it was not perfect. I have to say both Monday and yesterday were probably some of the hardest days because just, you try and do everything and it just wasn't working. I incorporated new things. I did Insta stories that Matt Miller suggested I do with my consumer ed over a unit review because we're ready to take our unit test, just things they were able to do. And I also taught them the difference between what is, comical and what is factual and how do you educate people. And it really worked good in this. So Matt, thank you for that. Students really enjoyed it, had a lot of fun, and they actually learned stuff and they started remembering about what they had covered during the whole semester. I mean, not the whole semester, but the whole last 5 weeks. So this has been really great. I've got another one planned to do in October that I'm going to really challenge myself with. I'm just kind of waiting until we get everything situated and done here the next week as it's homecoming. So I'm going to get that challenge done. And I guess it's going to be a little bit of a Make Learning Magical that Trish just released here. I'm actually getting the copy of the book. It arrives tomorrow. I cannot wait for this book. And I'm about to start, we're about to start a book study on Kids Deserve It. So I am looking really forward to it. So there's some really good things up. I got some great stuff coming up for FBLA. And I'm really, really looking forward to this. So this has been quite the challenge. So thank you, Michael Matera, for challenging me to do this. I did one this summer with a book review on Run Like a Pirate and later Talk to Me. I'm going to do something similar with Make Learning Magical. So thank you for that. I'm hoping to start doing some more video editing and some other things and just really try to start reaching out and really bring the Pixel Classroom to life. So thank you for everybody. Thank you for your support. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed watching me and all my struggles and incredible challenges I did this week. And I want to see you guys later. Have a fantastic weekend.